Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Preetha. Welcome back to the sacred space with me as we spend time reading the book Eternal Values for a Changing Society by the late Srimad Swami Ranganathananda ji. As you are aware, if you're following the space, Swamiji was the 13th president of the Ramakrishna Math Mission, but he was also so much more. He was a scholar par excellence, a spiritual ambassador, a philosopher, and a teacher. This multi-volume treatise that I have decided to read to you through this podcast is a testament to the breadth of his knowledge and the depth of his wisdom. Today's reading, we begin with one of the most significant works of the Swami, which is titled Science and Religion. They're very dichotomous concepts of thought, and as always, Swami Ranganathananda has woven them together with such lucidity and wisdom. This is a very long chapter that has been published separately as books, and so I shall read them in different parts. We will start with part 1 on science and religion. Let us begin. Introduction. I am thankful to the Bangalore University and its Vice-Chancellor, Dr. H. Narasimhaiah, for the invitation extended to me to speak on science and religion at this first inaugural session of its lecture series on science, society, and scientific attitude. Need to foster the scientific spirit. Modern environmental and ecological problems may be making for the unpopularity of technology, or rather over-technology, especially in advanced countries, but pure science with its passion for truth and human welfare will always remain as one of the noblest pursuits of the human being. And our country, which has nurtured this love and pursuit of truth in the fields of physical sciences, religion, and philosophy in the past, must continue to nurture it in all fields in the modern age. Religion and philosophy in India, as given to us in our Upanishadic tradition, is but the continuation of the scientific search for truth from the sense data level to the higher aesthetic, ethical, and spiritual levels of experience, as I hope to show in the course of this address. I appreciate this pioneer effort of the Bangalore University to inculcate the scientific spirit among its students and staff and the general citizens. I wish, however, that the training of our people in the scientific attitude and outlook begins from the stage of primary education itself. That is the only way to purify and strengthen the rational and the spiritual heritage of our country, by draining away its impure, weakening, and centuries-old contaminations of magic and superstition. Relationship of science and religion, a new approach. The subjects of science and religion are getting more and more important to people in the modern age. They are two great disciplines which, in the light of Indian wisdom, reveal that when relied on separately can be counterproductive in the long run, but when combined harmoniously can bring about an all-round expression of human genius and total fulfillment. But unfortunately, for the last few centuries, the relationship between the two in the Western context and everywhere else, also due to worldwide impact of Western culture, has not been quite happy. In the 20th century, however, a new approach is becoming evident, and the representative thinkers among scientists and religious people are beginning to discern a close interrelationship between them. They are slowly veering around to the point of view that science and religion can heartily embrace each other without detriment to the cause for which each stands and work for the good of humanity. It is being realized more and more by both that there are elements in science that religion can adopt in order to fortify itself, and elements in religion that can deepen and strengthen science. I shall here touch upon some of the sources of discord between the two and the significance of the points of contact between them, as well as discuss the methods and results of both the disciplines against the background and in the light of the unity and totality of all human knowledge and the synthetic and synoptic approach and vision of the Indian philosophical and spiritual tradition. The scientific discipline. The civilization in which we live today is the product of the discipline of the human mind known as modern science. When we study science at close quarters, in the way the great scientists have applied themselves to this pursuit, we find two aspects of this discipline. The first is pure science, science that tries earnestly to understand the truth of nature through a dispassionate inquiry, and the second is applied science, in which the truth discovered by pure science flows as technical inventions for the enhancement and enrichment of human life. These two signs, as lucifera and science as fructifera, meaning science is light and science is fruit, are intimately related. Knowledge leads to power, and power leads to control and manipulation of the forces of nature, enabling the human to condition his life and environment with deliberation. Every new discovery in pure science at some stage or other becomes converted into applied science, into control and manipulation of the forces of nature. And the result, as revealed in recent history, is the great saga of modern scientific discovery and invention, resulting in the worldwide technological civilization of today. It is the most fascinating study of how the human mind, disciplined in this pursuit of science, develops the capacity to wrest from nature truth after truth, hidden and jealously guarded by her, leading to our extraordinary modern age of nuclear science and space travel. What is the nature of that movement of thought which has produced these remarkable results? What do we mean by the term modern as applied to thought? And what is the special feature of modern scientific thought which has rendered thought so explosive and revolutionary? An answer to these questions will help us reassess the role of other great human disciplines such as religion, ethics, art, politics, and economics in the modern age. The architect of the modern world is science, and by modern thought is meant scientific thought. The aim of science is to study nature and human experience objectively. To quote Karl Pearson in The Grammar of Science, written in 1900, the classification of facts, the recognition of their sequence and relative significance is the function of science, and the habit of forming a judgment based upon these facts, unbiased by personal feeling, is the characteristic of what may be termed the scientific frame of mind." Unquote. This quality of the scientific mind and the mood and temper of its approach have enabled science to wrest from nature its secrets, first from one field, then from another, and transform nature's forces into agencies for the service of people. The sum total of the achievements in the theoretical and practical fields in the various departments of scientific inquiry in physics and chemistry, mathematics and astronomy, biology and psychology, as also in their various subsidiary branches, constitute an impressive record of human development, by the side of which long ages of past achievements in the same fields pale into insignificance. That is modern science in its methods and results. Science versus departments of science. Science, so understood, is not tied up with any particular body of facts. In the words of the great biologists J. Arthur Thomson, Introduction to Science, Home University Library Edition, 1934, and the Swami quotes, "Science is not wrapped up with any particular body of facts. It is characterized as an intellectual attitude. It is not tied down to any particular methods of inquiry. It is simply sincere critical thought which admits conclusions only when these are based on evidence. We may get a good lesson in scientific method from a businessman meeting some new practical problem, from a lawyer sifting evidence, or from a statesman framing a constructive bill. Objectivity and precision, both as to thought and its verbal formulation," the Swami continues, "are two important characteristics of scientific method. Any study possessing these characteristics will be science, whatever be the field of that study. Science as such is, therefore, not tied down to any particular order of facts, though the various departments of science, like physics or chemistry, biology or sociology, are tied down to particular orders of facts. These departments have limited scope, but science itself is unlimited in scope, and these various departments, starting with the study of separate fields, tend in their advanced stages to overstep their particular boundaries and merge into one converging scientific search, the search for the meaning of total experience. In this expansive context, the idea of a science of religion, the science of the facts of the inner world of the human being, as upheld in ancient Indian thought and as expounded in the modern age of Swami Vivekananda, becomes also a scientific study of far-reaching significance. The spirit of inquiry. The driving force behind this unique modern achievement is the spirit of free inquiry, characteristic of modern science. The mind that questions and questions with serious intent and purpose and tests and verifies the answers it gets has a dynamic quality about it, which enables it to forge ahead in the world of thought and things. In so forging ahead, it disturbs the wayside calm of untested dogmas and comfortable beliefs, as well as the magic and miracle and superstition wrongly associated with religion and leading to the vulgarization of this great discipline. Science is verified knowledge. The explosive character of modern scientific thought is the product of the impact of a rapid succession of verified knowledge against an intractable fund of untested dogmas as assumptions, beliefs, magic, miracle, and superstitions. The organized opposition of the latter in the West sought to stifle scientific inquiry first at its birth and later at every stage of its progress. But the walls of the Bastille of ignorance and prejudice fell one by one before the onrushing waves of inquiry and illumination, illustrating the great saying of the Upanishads, Satyameva Jayate Nanritam, truth alone triumphs, not untruth. The history of science in recent centuries is thus the history of the triumph of the spirit of free inquiry over mere opinion, untested belief, prejudice, and dogma. It is a remarkable adventure of the human spirit which has borne abundant fruits, not only mental but also material. For science as lucifera has flowed into science as fructifera, giving a bumper crop of discoveries and inventions that has transformed beyond recognition the world in which we live. The eclipse of dogma-bound religion. The success of science has meant the defeat of its opponent. It is one of the unfortunate episodes of history, especially of modern European history, that the organization of the forces of prejudice and blind belief against science and its spirit of inquiry came from the side of religion, and that reason, which is the life breath of science, was viewed as the death knell of religion. By the end of the last century, science had acquired high prestige and authority, while religion had been discredited, first as a dangerous error and later as a harmless illusion. The end of the 19th century thus saw the eclipse of religion in the West, but there was an uneasy feeling in the hearts of many thinkers that something of deep value to the human being and his civilization had been overthrown, and they attempted a reassessment of the meaning and scope of religion with a view to making it accord with the spirit and temper of science. To this great task of reconstructing the mental life of the modern human being by bridging the gulf between faith and reason on the basis of a unified view of the human and a truer conception of the spiritual life, the contribution of Indian thought is unique and lasting. Vivekananda on Reason and Religion. Tracing the recurring conflicts of science and religion in the West to the absence of a broad, rational, and experiential growth, Vivekananda said in the complete works in the 9th edition, and the Swami quotes, "We all know the theories of the cosmos, according to the modern astronomers and physicists, and at the same time we all know how woefully they undermine the theology of Europe, how these scientific discoveries are made act as a bomb thrown at its stronghold, and we know how theologians have in all times attempted to put down these researches. When religion refuses to take the help of reason, it weakens itself." Alluding to this in the course of a lecture on reason and religion delivered in England in 1896, Swami Vivekananda says in the 11th edition of the Complete Works, and I quote, "The foundations have been all undermined, and the modern man, whatever he may say in public, knows in the privacy of his heart that he can no more believe. Believing certain things because an organized body of priests tell him to believe, believing because it's written in certain books, believing because his people like him to believe, the modern man knows to be impossible for him. There are, of course, a number of people who seem to acquiesce in so-called popular faith, but we also know for certain they do not think. Their idea of belief may be better translated as non-thinking carelessness, unquote. And pleading for the application of reason in the field of religion, Swami Vivekananda continues, is religion to justify itself by the discoveries of reason through which every other science justifies itself? Are the same methods of investigation which we apply to science and knowledge outside to be applied to the science of religion? In my opinion, this must be so, and I am also of the opinion that the sooner it is done, the better. If a religion is destroyed by such investigations, it was then all the time useless, unworthy superstition, and sooner it goes, the better. I am thoroughly convinced that its destruction would be the best thing that could happen. All that is dross will be taken off, no doubt, but the essential parts of religion will emerge triumphant out of this investigation. Not only will it be made scientific at least, as any of the conclusions of physics or chemistry, but it will have greater strength because physics or chemistry has no internal mandate to vouch for its truth, which religion does. Swami Ranganathananda continues, a study of the Upanishads reveals that the subject of religion was approached in ancient India in an objective, dispassionate manner, and the aim of the study was to get at truth and not to hug pleasing fancies and illusions or to idolize tribal passions and prejudices. In several of his lectures and discourses, Swami Vivekananda has expounded this scientific approach as upheld in Indian thought. In his lecture on religion and science, he says, from the 6th edition of the Complete Works, experience is the only source of knowledge. In the world, religion is the only science where there is no surety because it is not taught as a science of experience. This should not be. There is always, however, a small group of men who teach religion from experience. They are called mystics. And these mystics in every religion speak the same tongue and teach the same truth. This is the real science of religion. As mathematics on every part of the world does not differ, so the mystics do not differ. They are all similarly constituted and similarly situated. Their experience is the same, and this becomes law. Religion deals with the truths of the metaphysical world just as chemistry and other natural sciences deal with the truths of the physical world. The book one must read to learn chemistry is the book of nature. The book from which to learn religion is your mind and heart. The sage is often ignorant of physical science because he reads the wrong book, the book within, and the scientist is too often ignorant of religion because he too reads the wrong book, the book without, unquote. The Indian thinkers discovered by their investigations that there are two fields in which human lives and functions. One, the external world, the other, the internal. These are two different orders of phenomena. The study of the one alone does not exhaust the whole range of experience. Also, the study of the one from the standpoint of the other will not lead to satisfactory results. But the study of the one in the light of the conclusions from the study of the other is helpful and relevant. Referring to this approach in the course of a lecture on cosmology, Swami Vivekananda says in the 9th edition of the Complete Works, and I quote, "There are two worlds, the microcosm and the macrocosm, the internal and the external. We get truth from both of these by means of experience. The truth gathered from internal experience is psychology, metaphysics, and religion. From external experience, the physical sciences. Now, a perfect truth should be in harmony with experiences in both these worlds. The microcosm must bear testimony to the macrocosm, and the macrocosm to the microcosm. The physical truth must have its counterpart in the internal world, and the internal world must have its verification outside. Thus the sages and thinkers of ancient India said, and Swami Ranganathananda continues, here is the physical life of the human being, and here is the physical universe that environs him. Let us study both in a scientific spirit. But let us also study him in his depths, his nature as revealed by his consciousness, his thoughts, his emotions, his ego, and his sense of selfhood. These latter also constitute a vast group of phenomena that need to be investigated. Every advance in this field is bound to advance human knowledge about the truth and mystery of the external world. For, to quote mathematician astronomer the late Sir Arthur Eddington in the Philosophy of Physical Science, and the Swami quotes, "We have discovered that it is actually an aid in the search for knowledge to understand the nature of the knowledge which we seek." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and presence here today. We will continue on where we left off in this epic treatise by Swami Ranganathananda, Science and Religion, and we will start back talking about the Upanishads and the spirit of critical inquiry in India, and then get into more in-depth thoughts on the limitations of physical science and its place in the mysteries of the universe and the human being, the ramifications in physics and biology, and a lot of other very, very mindful and interesting concepts, so beautifully articulated by the Swami. But more on all of that next time, friends. For now, I shall sign off and thank you again here for being here. This is your host, Preetha Lal. You were listening to Eternal Values for a Changing Society by Swami Ranganathananda. Namaste.